screen because we can see the videos.
My camera is off. This one is
It's
on.
on.
Good morning. What is it? I just
You have Facebook.
yeah. Please send me the link to the okay. No. Just mute there, please. Kelly, we're ready to start.
People use those doing guys. Something YouTube. So you need to close some of the stuff like this. We'll ask someone to set up this out.
Shani, can I resume?
Yes, you may.
Okay. And I'm audible, hopefully.
There's an echo.
Okay, great stuff. Good morning, everyone.
Mr. Ndlovu.
Good morning,
It's
good
Mr.
morning
Chris.
to everyone.
Bona
Am I
ke ka mo
audible?
gare ke tobetsa dilo ga ke le mo. Yo, 100%. I'm on top of things. Bona Kele is in, my presentation is up. We just did the dry run. I'm good to go. It's just you, me.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to officially welcome you to
Okay,
today's session. Mr. Makamba, if you could kindly mute, please. Thank you so much. I just wanted to take this opportunity to welcome everyone to today's session. A special thank you to all the entrepreneurs. I know you guys have got very busy schedules, so we truly appreciate you taking time to sit in on this webinar today. It's not going to be a long one. Hopefully we would be done by 11:30. I would just like to make a special request specifically to our panelists, if they could be cognizant of their mics and if they can mute where possible, please. Would really appreciate that. Just to get started, I'm just gonna touch on the purpose for today's session without any further delays. Essentially, today's session is to educate entrepreneurs on the offerings by Proudly SA, as well as SMME, but also just to clear any preconceived misconceptions that we might have, especially entrepreneurs, on the benefits of becoming a member of Proudly SA, and as well as the access to market opportunities. Hopefully, the speaker is going to touch on any partnering that we might do for future events such as the Buy Local Summit. So without any further ado, I'm going to call in our first speaker. Or prior to me calling on our first speaker, I'd like to just make the attendees aware that we're going to have a Q&A session once all the speakers have concluded with their presentation. So kindly bear with us. But in the interim, while they are presenting, you can just take notes and we'll attend to your queries once everyone is done. So I'm going to call on our first speaker, Ms. Alicia Logan. Ms. Alicia Logan is a member and a manager who has a marketing and research background, extensive knowledge in sales across FMCG.
Colleagues, Chair, thank you so much for that introduction. Good morning to all on the call. I'm just going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to put off the camera because I know that we're load shedding across, various different places this morning. So I just want to save some bandwidth so that we can have quite a audible and presentation. So my name is Alicia Logan. I'm the head of department for membership at Proudly South African. This morning, I'm going to take you through the Proudly South African membership pack, and also guide you on how, as a small to medium-sized enterprise, how you could become a member of the campaign. And I'll also take you through the membership vetting process, as well as the associated benefits or membership benefits. I'm going to share my screen. Just a second. There we go. All right. Colleagues, I assume that you are able to see the presentation.
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay, so that's fine. Sorry, it's just freezing on my side, but let me just try again. Right, there we go. Okay, so in terms of Proudly South African, what is very important to note and to differentiate ourselves from Brand SA is that Proudly South African is the country's national buy local campaign. So what it is that we are trying to do, or we do, is to strongly influence procurement in the public sector, procurement in the private sector, and the general consumer to procure local. So our mandate really is for us to advocate for the consumer, for the public sector, and for the private sector to all either procure or consume local. The reason for this mandate is very simple. We are a buy local campaign that seeks to influence everyone within the country to buy local so that we can create jobs within the South African economy. So the mandate really is, to create jobs here in South Africa, within the borders of South Africa. And we do this indirectly by influencing buyer decisions, whereby people are able to buy local so that the companies within South Africa can expand, can hire more people. Proudly South African was formed through NETLAC, and Proudly South African fits hand in glove with the national localization agenda. In terms of why it is that we want consumers, the public sector and the private sector to buy local, it is essentially to create jobs and to retain jobs within the South African economy. It is there for skills development, for the population of South Africa. It is for economic development in the South African economy. It is for empowerment of, previously disadvantaged groups of people. It is for empowerment of women. It's for empowerment of the youth. It is for improved living standards. The more jobs we create, the more we eradicate unemployment and poverty. It is for infrastructure development, of course, for us to further build and diversify, because the more we build infrastructure in South Africa, the less reliant we are on international imports. It is to increase the GDP. The more we export as South Africans as opposed to importing, we increase our GDP and develop our economy. And of course, it is for balance of trade. So we want to make sure that not everything is coming from abroad. Not all of the raw materials are coming from abroad. We're balancing off the trade, because as much as we import, we also have local manufacturers that can export their goods. So this, in a nutshell, is the reason why we advocate for consumers, the public sector and the private sector, to buy local, because we want to make sure we retain and create jobs. We want to develop the skills within the South African economy. We want to develop the economy. We want to empower various groups. We want to improve the living standards of South Africans. We want to create infrastructure development. We want to ensure we increase and grow the GDP and balance off the trade. We have 4 very important pillars that Proudly South African, lives by. This is preferential procurement. And when I go into the benefits of to be a Proudly South African member, I will talk more about preferential procurement within the public sector. Then we have consumer education. You will find us in malls and events. There is an event that our event department is doing every single week, whether it be online, whether it be in store, whether it be at a venue. And these events essentially are for consumer education within the private sector or within the general consumer. We are there to teach you how to procure local. We are there to teach you how to look for locally manufactured goods. And we are there to guide you on making the local procurement or purchasing decision. Consumer education, general public. This is where we are advocating for consumers, especially at store level or on e-commerce level, for consumers to actually look for the logo on the packaging of a product to confirm that that product is locally manufactured, and for them to procure locally manufactured products. And then promote accessibility of locally made products and services. Here again, once we get into the member benefits, I will show you how we use consumer products on our website and on other platforms to ensure that member companies grow and their products are well marketed to the general consumer. Proudly South African membership. So in order to become a member of Proudly South African, we need to take you through a vetting process. The vetting process is a strict process, and the reason it is a strict process is because we are a compliant NGO. We are a compliant advocacy campaign, and also the Proudly South African logo is a registered trademark. So it is very important. The registered trademark confirms local content and also confirms quality. So it is absolutely important, based on the fact that this logo is a registered trademark, that we take every single company through a vetting process in order to confirm whether they meet the standards required in order to have the logo used on their product, on their business collateral, and on their marketing collateral. So there is a vetting process, and that vetting process consists of 4 key criteria by which a membership consultant will vet your business. Those 4 key criteria are local content, quality, environmental standards, and fair labor practices. So in terms of local content, as you can imagine, we are a buy local advocacy campaign. So it is very important that every single company that joins the campaign either manufactures locally or provides a service within the borders of South Africa. Now, we are cognizant of the fact that not all products can be manufactured 100% locally because sometimes we need to bring in raw material from abroad. So given this understanding, we do love for your company to be 100% manufacturing within the borders of South Africa. But if you need to bring in raw materials from abroad, then we would say that at least 50% or more of that product is either manufactured or assembled within the borders of South Africa. If the percentage is any less than that, then you disqualify for membership. Then in terms of quality is also a non-negotiable. Quality is, as I confirmed, very important because the logo, we go back to the logo being a registered trademark, confirming quality and also confirming local content. So we have to make sure that every single company that comes through and wishes to apply for membership, that the product they manufacture has gone through the relevant testing processes. So you either have your test reports or your ISO certificates that you are able to give to the consultant that is vetting your application. Once we understand that the product has met the quality standards and has gone through the relevant testing process, then only will we consider approving your membership. Because if we consider that a food manufacturer or a skincare manufacturer does not have quality reports, and this is purchased by a consumer and it's harmful to the consumer, then our logo being on that product will have devastating results. So quality is actually a non-negotiable. Environmental standards, we would ideally like for our member companies to have environmental policies in place. We do know that is not always possible. So if environmental policies are not in place, or as a startup company, you do not have the environmental standards or policies in place, then what we would ask is that you complete a membership declaration form confirming these policies are not in place, but you would still like to proceed with membership. And of course, the last criteria is fair labor practices. This, as like local content and quality, is also non-negotiable. Why is it a non-negotiable? The mandate of the campaign is, clearly states, buy local to create jobs. So the mandate being, Proudly South Africans' aim is to create jobs in the local market. So where it is that we directly or indirectly create jobs, we want to make sure that where we create the jobs, it is created in environments that align to fair labor practices and align to the labor laws of the country. So these 4 key criteria are, in a nutshell, how we vet member companies. As much as it is a strict process, it is a very easy and process, because if you have all your documents in place, that is your CIPC registration documents, your VAT registration documents, your quality report, ISO certification or test reports, your environmental policies or your declaration form, your HR policies, and of course your company profile. If you have all of those on hand and you send it through to a consultant, your membership can be approved within the same day. If you do not have your documentation in line, or it is expired, or you just do not have them, that is when the process is delayed. But ideally, if all documentation is in order, the process can be completed within 1 business day. Then we get into the benefits of being a Proudly South African member. The first benefit, as I've confirmed with you, once you are, you've been vetted, a consultant has taken you through the vetting process, you've been approved for membership, you have received your letter of confirmation for membership approval, then once the membership fee is paid, the consultant will immediately send you the Proudly South African logo. And I would say not just the logo, they will send you the logo pack. The logo pack consists of a corporate image document that is a guideline document allowing you to understand how you would be able to apply the logo on different platforms. And you would receive guidance, if needs be, from our brand team. So our marketing department is made up of 3 teams. It is events, brand, and PR. You will be guided by the brand team on how to use the logo across the different mediums that you wish to use the logo in. Our brand department is accessible, and they're always willing to help guide our member companies on the use of the logo. Access to market platforms, one of the key, the 4 pillars that I spoke to you about, confirms that we are actively involved in the public sector opportunities for our member companies. So one of the main benefits is first-hand access to tender opportunities designated for local content by the DTIC. So within the membership department, we have a membership consultant. She is dedicated to sending out tender opportunities to all our member companies aligned to the sector that you work in. So she would look, say if you're a member company that supplies stationery, she will peruse all of the different places whereby she will look for tenders aligned to your sector, and she will send it through to you for you to have a look at it and consider whether you wish to apply for the tender or not. One of the most important things is now that we are aligned with the CSD. So you would gain, therefore, recognition as a member or a local manufacturer or service provider on the National Treasury's Central Supplier Database. You will stand out to procurement officials because you are a proudly South African member. So that is a very important and beneficial, one of the benefits that will aid you in standing a better chance at, winning a tender. What is very important to note is that Proudly South African does not get involved in any aspect of the tender per se. So we are not involved in the awarding of tenders, and we are not involved in the confirmation of who should be shortlisted or anything related to tender, awarding or shortlisting. We are only there to make it easy for you as a member company to gain access, first-hand access to these tenders, and for you to stand out on the National Treasury Central Supplier Database so that you can have a better advantage of securing a tender. So that is our function as Proudly South African to our member companies. What is also important is that Proudly South African is now being recognized as an access to market platform for our member companies. So what do I mean by this? Let me start off with e-commerce. So Proudly South African has launched an e-commerce division. The division seeks to create access to markets for our member companies. So we have MOUs or agreements in place with e-commerce sites like Zulzi, Macro Marketplace, Made by Artisans, BizMed, and these are just to name a few. There's a whole host of e-commerce sites that we have agreements in place with. We have an e-commerce manager that looks through the entire membership base and puts these members into sectors. So we have 26 different sectors, and this e-commerce manager then actively markets our member companies to the likes of Zulzi, to the likes of Macro Marketplace, Made by Artisans, BizMed, and many more. And the e-commerce manager has successfully listed a multitude of companies on these sites. And these, if you look at our LinkedIn page, you will see the success stories of companies like the Bread Box, who have been listed on e-commerce sites and are really, really doing well. So it is a really good access to market opportunities, especially for manufacturers of product. So if you're manufacturing a food product, if you're manufacturing clothing, cosmetics, all of those items, or skincare, body care, we are able to then list you on these sites, and these sites actively market you, and you are able to sell to the general consumer. So it is an excellent market opportunity or access to market, and our members that are currently listed on these sites are actually doing very well. Then the other access to market opportunity is our events. So if I talk about joint promotions, we have DSTV Delicious coming up, and our member companies within the lifestyle and food sector have been chosen to exhibit at Delicious. This has been going on for a few years now, and the member companies that are on, that exhibit at these at this event have only success stories to talk about after the 2 or 3 day event, because they literally sell at this event, and they have the greatest amount of sales success stories to talk about post the event. So in terms of joint promotions and in terms of eventing, that is one of the events that stands out, that showcases our member companies that really showcase their product to the general market, but also generate a very decent income from the opportunity. As I confirmed to you, our marketing department is made up of brand, event, and PR. So our events department doesn't just take you to Delicious, they take you to, recently we had the wine exhibition. So our wine members exhibited at the Prison Break Market in Kailami. And here again, great access to market opportunity for them, lots of sales. Some of them have, by the beginning of the second day, were even out of stock. So great opportunity as well for our member companies based on the sector that they play in. Then we have the Buy Local Summit and Exhibition that happens once a year, usually in March, and runs for 3 days at the Sandton Convention Center. This is our flagship event. We take 200 member companies to this event, and this event is packed with procurement officials, buyers from retail, buyers from e-commerce, procurement officials from the public sector, buyers within all of the government departments, ministers, even our president or deputy president is often in attendance. So it is a huge event, huge opportunity for our member companies to expose their brands in the most positive marketing manner, and opportunity for our member companies to list their products either in e-commerce, in retail, or within the B2B spaces. Here again, a lot of success stories. One of the member companies that was at the Buy Local Summit was listed not only in retail in South Africa, but in all the SADC countries as well, or selected SADC countries. So, you go from having a product to getting listed not just in retail in South Africa, but also in Africa. So here again, a huge success for some of our member companies that expose their brand at our flagship event. Then we also have the PR department that is actively involved in showcasing our members on our social media platforms, also in our newsletters, in our product booklets, and all in various other mediums, whether it be print, broadcast media. They're actively all the time. If you were on our Instagram, you would see that it's not even every day, it's like every few hours, our member companies are being actively marketed on Instagram with beautiful pictures, prices, links to their social media pages, links to their contacts, just to be able to really get out our member companies, their brands out there, and to get the support of the general consumer. Then we have, inclusion in Proudly SA's database of local products and services. So we have what we call, our website has a listing for members, or a tab that allows us to list our members on the website. And once you are listed there, you are able to put your product catalog on there. You are able to showcase your business on there so that there's business to business opportunities. One member can meet another member and do business with each other. We also have portals, and these portals are there as a procurement tool. So if you are looking at the furniture portal, and if you are a buyer and you need furniture, you are able to access Proudly South African's furniture portal, and you are able to access our member contact details, and you're able to contact them and procure from them. So really it serves as a procurement tool, and it has been doing extremely well. Here again, also a lot of success stories during COVID. People used the portals. Businesses accessed our member companies via portals. And one company that stands out is Sarnath Trading, where they've got, their success story is that they actually survived COVID and thrived through COVID because of the orders that came through the portal. So a lot of success stories here again, and also great access to market opportunity. Then we also have, the events department. As I said, they have events every single week, whether it be via webinars, whether it be face-to-face events, whether it be the Buy Local Summit or joint promotions with DSTV Delicious. The events department has something for everyone every single week. So what happens here is that we have business breakfast, similar to the webinar that we're doing now, where we have other members that are facilitators, mentors, business advisors, or someone within the public that has business knowledge and is well versed or aligned to business teaching and lecturing. We invite them to these webinars. We invite them to business breakfast to teach our member companies not only on how to access markets, but how to grow their business organically and how to grow their business, authentically within the South African market. So we do have webinars, we do have business breakfasts, we have B2B meetings, we have various B2B opportunities within different, panels or different across different sectors and across different mediums, just to be able to teach our member companies how to grow their business and how to thrive in the South African economy, and of course to help them, in terms of exports as well. And then we did talk about the Proudly SA flagship event. As I said, a huge event and the greatest access to market opportunity from an event perspective. Taryn, who heads up the e-commerce division, also does dangle in a bit of international trade shows. She did Dubai 2020, and then I also work with the DTI, where the DTI has a set calendar of events for the year across different sectors, and these events take place worldwide across 12 different countries. And if our member companies are suitable to participate in these international events, then I will submit their names to the DTI, and the DTI will consider taking them abroad to showcase their product to an international audience so that we can increase their opportunity for exports. So that, in a nutshell, colleagues, is basically, our access to market opportunities and our member benefits. I assume, all members on this call are small to medium size enterprises. So your membership fee for SMMEs is 500 Rand once off for a year's worth of membership, renewable the same time next year. If you are above the threshold of a turnover of 5 million Rand, if you are much higher, to say 10 million Rand, then your membership fee is 1,000 Rand once off for the year, for a year's worth of membership. And yes, so that's basically the benefits, the fee structure, and the vetting process. I will stop sharing. Chair, I'm not sure if you want to take questions now or at the end of the call.
Let's rather just take the questions now, specifically those ones that speak to Proudly South African. I think let us do that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Ms. Alicia, if you may just advise if you're at liberty to share your presentation with attendees.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay,
Do I need
perfect.
to send it through to you, or must I put my email address in the chat box for them to request it?
Kindly share it with myself and Shani, and between the two of us, then we will just disseminate.
Sure, I'll do that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right, cool. Are there any questions for Alicia?
Sorry, Bonakele, if I may step in, we have a question from Thabo in the Q&A. If Alicia wouldn't mind answering that question, please.
Sasha, yes, I'll answer that question now. So the question is, as Proudly South African, can we really afford to not copyright our private business planning documents? Absolutely. That is a very important question, and to a point where I'm actually currently dealing with a matter where a company wants a lawyer that we did a previous webinar with, who does patents for their products and for and NDAs for their business planning documents. So Thabo, yes, your question is very valid and so important. As small to medium-sized enterprises, what I've noticed is the ideas are absolutely unique. And the relationship with buyers are strong, and the relationship with your business in general very strong. So your ideas your ideas can be stolen. The products you manufacture that are unique to you, if they don't have patents, they can also be stolen. So my advice to you is, get a patent lawyer and have them help you with, unique product ideas, and also your business ideas and your business documentation. Get non-disclosure agreements in place before you actually go and try and get deals in place, because the next thing you know, after your presentation, that product is sourced from China and at a cheaper price, and here you are sitting with the idea only. So if you want, we do have a alliance with a patent lawyer. So if you want those details, you are most welcome to contact Booty, and I will give when I send through the presentation, I'll send through the contact details as well. Stephanie, please repeat fee structure. Okay, so the fee structure for small to medium-sized enterprises is 500 Rand once off for a year's worth of membership, renewable the same time next year. Okay. One of the requirements on your website said you want audited statements. Please elaborate more, especially for SMMEs under 3 years. Okay. So under 3 years, it is difficult to get an audited financial statement, because accountants do financial statements based on a 3-year trading, financial period. So what you can do is you can confirm your turnover for the year, and get a just advise your turnover for the year, and also advise that you are under 3 years old, or you're a startup, or however many years you've been in business. And if the consultant needs an affidavit, then you can get a stamped affidavit from your nearest police station to confirm your financial status. By quality, are you referring to quality management systems? Okay, so by quality, so if you are a manufacturer of a product, then by quality, we mean test reports that your product has gone through the relevant testing processes. If once it's been tested, then you are able to receive ISO certification for your products. So quality management systems, I know that is usually used afterwards, but that is not what we require. We require the ISO certification or the test reports for the products that you manufacture, especially if it's a food product or a beverage product or a skincare product. The ISO certification and test reports is a non-negotiable. Okay. I am a service provider looking into acquiring products such as earrings and accessories, handmade. How do I invite you to come if I have workshops? Okay, so Miriam, how you would invite us? We have, within my department, I have membership consultants. So there's a lot of consultants that are under the membership platform. You are able to reach out to Proudly South African, request to speak to a membership consultant, and advise them that you would like to invite them to a workshop where you would be showcasing your product, and they will advise if they are able to join. They are most often able to join. They actively involved in workshops and factory visits. So it's up to you to, call in, speak to a consultant, and set up an appointment. I am opening my own real estate service business. Would Proudly South African logo help me? Here. So the way in which Proudly South African logo will assist you is that we will list you on our website, and we will list you on various other platforms where we will be able to showcase your business to the relevant audience. So as I confirmed, we have 26 different sectors. You will fall within property or real estate, and we will have events, we will have webinars, we will have various different opportunities showcasing you to the relevant sector. And of course, the logo being visible with all our consumer education and education to the private and public sector. This will help with procurement officials or buyers being able to see that your product has been vetted for local content. Good morning. How do we as existing members get in touch with membership consultants? You are able to literally call in. So call our offices and ask to be directed to the membership department. Once you get to the membership department, a membership consultant will answer, and that membership consultant will take you through whatever it is that you need from them. But please do call directly and ask for the membership department, or you can email info@proudlysa.co.za, but I prefer you call because the info address is swamped with emails, thousands of emails every month. So it's very difficult to manage that mailbox. So a direct call to our offices and asking to be sent to the membership department is your direct contact with a consultant. As an NGO, we are unable to afford the SABS certification process. However, we do comply to the standards. Is there any way around this to meet the quality? I cannot confirm right now because I need to know the product you manufacture. It has to go through the vetting process. As I confirmed, we are an exceptionally compliant, company. So we have to make sure we meet the quality standards. Quality is a non-negotiable. If you cannot afford the SABS certification, then we'll guide you towards people who will be able to certify either at no cost or at a lower cost. So I'm going to have to say that there's actually no way around quality. If you cannot afford certification, we'll guide you towards someone, either a CEDA or a relevant organization that will be able to help you at a lesser cost or at no cost at all. So once again, no way around quality. I want to understand with us in farming, how do you cover us, particularly crop farming? Since we don't own seeds, we actually export them. Do you only cover secondary farming, agro-processing? Okay, Tulani, I have a specialist in-house that will answer that question. It's quite a long, lengthy process. So if you don't mind also calling the membership department and asking for a consultant that can guide you along, specifically possibly to Nico within the department can guide you on farming and how we vet that sector. As a Proudly SA, how do you help that you're doing events to create business talk? Can Proudly SA be part of the event? Naseem, I'm not sure I understand your question. Perhaps if you can just rephrase, I'm not sure if you're asking if we can join events in your local community or if you can join events that we have in the local community. If you can just maybe rephrase that, then I'm happy to answer.
Alicia,
Mm-hmm.
my apologies, ma'am, to interject. However, I need to cut our Q&A short. Looking at the number of questions, yes, we still have two more speakers.
Yeah.
I would rather then we will attend to the rest of the questions once all the presentations have been concluded.
Okay. Do you want me to just type the answers so long while?
Yes, that will be great.
While you're doing the rest of the presentation. Sure, I'll do that.
All right, then. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, then. Thank you so much for that insight. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate it.
Only a pleasure.
All righty then. We're going to proceed with the presentations, and then I'm going to call on our next speaker, Mr. Buti Makama, who is an Area Innovation Manager at Ekasi Labs. Ekasi Labs, which is a unit of the Innovation Hub. Makama, the floor is yours.
Dumelang. Good morning, everyone. This is Buti Makama from Ekasi Labs here at the Innovation Hub. I will just be my presentation as well. I'll go through the presentation first and then slot in the questions thereafter. So the Ekasi Labs does not exist as an entity on its own. And the reason you see the Innovation Hub logo is that Ekasi Labs is a program of the Innovation Hub. And I will present context here before I move on to the next slide. So the Innovation Hub itself is headquartered in Linwood in Pretoria East. But due to the demands of our communities that are far lying right across Gauteng, there was a need to create an outreach of sorts to all of these communities to ensure that they get the same service that is available here in Linwood in all of their areas without having to travel all the way to Pretoria. And that was the reason why Ekasi Labs was established. And we have a presence in all the 5 economic corridors right across Gauteng. And if you look at the screen now, you will see that these are some of the Ekasi Labs that have been established already here in Gauteng. So for instance, in Soweto, we have 36 incubated companies, 32 in Kagiso. We have labs in Mabopane, Garankuwa, Sebokeng, Mohlakeng, Kathoras. So Kathoras, yes, ma'am?
We cannot see your presentation, sir.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I am very sorry about that. Let's do this. Is it on now?
Yes, sir. If you can switch to presenting mode. There you go. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, apologies for that. So as I was saying, the Ekasi Labs being a program of the Innovation Hub, and that we are present in all 5 corridors, the economic corridors right across Gauteng. And on your screen now, you should be seeing the labs that have been established already. So we are in Soweto, Kagiso. Kagiso would be on the west end. And then there's Mabopane and Garankuwa, which service the entire northern region of Tshwane. So anyone from Atteridgeville, the northern suburbs of Pretoria as well, right up to Hammanskraal, that would be our catchment area. And then there would be Sebokeng and Mohlakeng, and then Kathoras and Alex, and Kathoras would be Katlehong and Vosloorus. Spruit as well would be accessed by this, and then Alex. Then there's Mamelodi, Tembisa, Mamelodi would service all the areas right up to Bronkhorstspruit, so the far-lying areas of Pretoria would be covered by this. Tembisa Lab, the catchment area would include Oliven, which is in Centurion, but would, in terms of access, is quite close to Tembisa. And then there would be Ebony and Ivory Park as well, which are the areas that can be accessed by this. I'm only mentioning the catchment areas, but anyone in between any of these areas is more than welcome to walk in at any time between 8 and 4:30, Monday to Friday, to make inquiries and see what the services are available in their specific lab. Now, we'll also reflect on the impact of the ECASI lab since inception. So for the financial years 2014 right up to 2023, 867 jobs have been created. And remember, these are the jobs that we are able to account for. Then we refer to them as meaningful jobs, meaning that either the staff members are registered and were retained for a period longer than 3 months. But obviously, there would be other jobs that have been created from the business itself, creating business or engaging with other entities. In terms of recruitment, we've recruited 755 companies. We do not have 755 on our books at the moment, because companies are either exited or graduated out of the program, depending on their progress. And the innovations that have been taken to market are 217, and then we have graduated 34 companies. The impact itself, an annual income of 18 million for each of those financial years on average. The jobs I have mentioned, 867, and the tax revenues have been at 702. There have been questions before about the tax revenue. Why is it at 702? But remember, most of our companies, we take them from startup up to a point where they commercialize. So most of them would actually scale outside of our scope. And that's why only now we are actually tracking them. And I suppose that in our next reporting phase, we will be able to report much higher numbers of taxes paid to the state. Now, in terms of the services and what is it that we do as ECASI Labs, the name itself tells you ECASI, that's why we are located in those ECASIs. So in many instances, we are found in either universities or municipal buildings. Whoever is a partner with us in that corridor would be able to host us. So the labs are for the most part similar in terms of the service offering. However, some would have offerings that are different from one, given the dynamics as well as the demands in that corridor. So for instance, when you go to the Garankuwa lab and the Soweto labs, they would have fab labs. A common name for that would be a maker space where you have 3D printers and laser cutters. And you would have Mamelodi that has a small manufacturing space for entrepreneurs who cannot afford to establish their own manufacturing spaces. And so in terms of services, it's mentorship that we provide, which is fully subsidized. It is not free, but fully subsidized. So the state pays for this as a state entity. We are fully funded by the state in Gauteng, since we are a provincial program. And the areas that we consider and that we focus on would be advocacy for innovation. And I will elaborate on this as well. When you go into our township, you'd find that there are people who have ideas, but do not necessarily know where to start in making sure that the idea can go from just being an idea to becoming a commercial entity and creating jobs and perhaps an income even for the individual who is the founder. And therefore, when we do advocacy for innovation, we are trying to get whoever is a stakeholder to come in on board and assist us with trying to inculcate the culture of innovation in our townships. We also, when we look at the locations where we are situated at the moment, we have seen that there are people who have felt that they are still very far from our locations. That's why we've had co-locations. For instance, with the ECASI lab in Mabopane, we have a co-location with SIDA in Hammanskraal. And we are able to make arrangements in case people are in those far-lying areas. And this would apply right across Gauteng. So you would need to go into your nearest ECASI lab or contact them and find out when they have an activation, or you could even simply contact them over the phone or even by email, and they'd be able to assist you. Now, in terms of the sectors that we focus on, we have green sector. So green has to do with the environment. This could be anything from technology or solutions that are related to the environment. So when we say green, we do not necessarily mean just recycling. It has to do with something that is possibly new. For instance, we have companies incubated that they are coming that have set up their own depository for waste material that could be set up in malls so that you simply get money or vouchers from it. So that is the sort of tech that would be related to this. We have companies that use gray water for flushing toilets, and the solutions are quite many if you visit our website to see what the green sector entails. And then we have bioeconomy. The sector has to do anything with humans, animals, and plants. So anything that is living. And here there would be cosmetics, there would be supplements, there would be devices as well. But the devices themselves would also fall under smart and manufacturing as well. So there is some linkages between the different sectors. But if you go into the website, you'd be able to see what it is that we do, or you can speak to one of our staff members at the Innovation Hub or Ekasi Labs. They'll be able to clarify fully where your idea would fall in, and also scrutinize it and advise you and get you ready for a pitching session. In terms of where we are located, again, if you see a map, I hope you can see the map clearly to see where we are, so that you know that we are fully accessible to everyone. In case you feel that the area that you stay in, you are unable to access an Ekasi Lab, please make contact with us. All our contacts are available on the website. You are able to speak to us, and we will definitely make a plan to reach out to you and get our services to you. How we support the companies that are incubated. So we have hot desking space. We have high-speed internet sponsored by Gauteng Broadband Network. So it's a government initiative. So we have high-speed internet in our labs. As long as you come in and do everything that is purely legal for supporting your business, you are more than welcome to come into our labs. There's manufacturing space. Again, the manufacturing space itself is different from one lab to the next. So you would have to go in and see what it is that you are looking for. In case you need any other form of manufacturing space unavailable in your immediate lab, we can make arrangements and see how to assist you. You are also able to get into our labs and host your own meetings. Many of our entrepreneurs are operating from home, either from a laptop or just their cell phones. And it gets very difficult when you need to meet clients and you do not have the facilities that would place you put you in a good space to be able to meet those clients. And therefore, we have these boardrooms that are available for you to access and use them, but you would obviously have to book. I need to emphasize, though, that these spaces and all of these facilities that are available are for companies that are incubated. Hence, I say, please come in and discuss with our staff members what incubation entails, how you need to get incubated, and then we will provide these services to you. Then we have advisory and skills development. So the Innovation Hub itself has a skills development unit, training quite a number of things. There was coding, and then there's job readiness preparation through Coach Lab. And right now we are doing mobile repairs. We have done automotive repairs. We have also done appliance repairs with partners such as TUT and TIA Tech Stations. So these are some of the things that we do. It's important that you follow our social media pages and see at any given time what training is available and what the requirements are so that you can join in on any of these. We also assist with product development. We have a product development lab that is newly set up here at head office. This is over and above some of the facilities we have at our labs and all the equipment and technical expertise with our partners. So we work with the CSIR MOUs with all the universities right across the province, as well as outside of the province. So at any time that you would want to develop a product, we are able to tap into the expertise available at that university or institution and see how we can get you from that just being an idea to make sure that it gets up to commercial stage. Sometimes also you would find that you have an idea, but someone has also researched it and they have come some way to making sure that it can be commercialized already. And even in some instances that patents exist already. So you do not have to go through all that process. You could simply go in and see how you could come to a licensing arrangement and make sure that your route from idea up to commercial space is shortened. We also assist with access to funding. Now, this I need to explain. We are not a traditional funder. However, there are instances where we have an amount of money available to ensure that your business or your idea is compliant up to a point that it can be commercialized. Now, all of this money would then be used, for instance, for product testing. There would obviously be codes that are sent to us that we compare, either with CSIR, ARC, or even private entities that would either test your product so that it is safe for market. So we would be able to pay for that, incubated. And then there are partners that we work with, such as the IDC, DTIC, CEDA, NYDA, and GEP, who also assist some of our companies with funding. Here on screen now is a list of some companies that have gone through the Innovation Hub, and some are still within the Innovation Hub, and the milestones that they've made. All this information is available on our website, so I will not bore you with this information, but to show you again some of the tech that we have developed, or rather assisted develop. Pax Acoustics, for instance, makes high-end speakers. Many of you would be familiar with names such as Bose or Bose, depending on how you pronounce it, JBL, Bang & Olufsen even, and we have a locally made product called Pax Acoustics. If you check them online or even on our website, you would be able to see what it is that they've done, high-end speakers that could enhance your listening experience. And then we have Legatron Electronics, a personal asset tracking company. This would be for vehicles as well as assets belonging to your company, especially you with SMMEs. You'd be investing a lot of money in either vehicles or heavy equipment. This is the company that you would want to go to and approach them for tracking your assets. So they too came through the Innovation Hub, and through the various stages of development, we were able to assist them up to a point now they are actually in the market and servicing clients. And in fact, one of their clients is the Innovation Hub. This goes to show how much we appreciate and have trust in the companies that we assist, and how we are willing to make sure that they become economically viable going forward. We also have Lu Afrique. If you're able to zoom in on your screen on your side, you would see that this is the contraption that I spoke about earlier. So this would be a gray water system that is able to use for flushing. So they're actually running a program now in Soweto in partnership with Dettol, the multinational company, to ensure that these urinals and hand basins are available in schools. And then they will be rolling out some more, but they do other plastic molded products as well. If you follow them too, you'll be able to see what it is that they provide. Raw liquid and Hemer, they are on the markets. Check your local supermarket. And in fact, if they are not there, please go in and demand that I'm looking for Hemer or raw liquid to make sure that they gain market access more than they have already. This is the space in Ekasi Labs and Mamelodi, the manufacturing space. So this is what it looks like. To the right of my screen there, the lady you see sitting there, the founder of Tosh, those are her products on there, and she is in Spar and Pick n Pay already. And if I'm not mistaken, she should be in ShopRite. So please, when you go in, while you may be preferring other products, I can assure you, if you go for this product, test them out and see what it is that they do. Now, you will see a term called TISH going forward between now and next year, and possibly the few years afterwards. So you would know that in the past, there have been what we call hostels in our communities, as well as informal settlements. At the moment, Ekasi Labs have been established in what we call formal townships only. However, there has been a need to make sure that we reach out to residents of hostels as well as informal settlements who, by no design of our own, have been excluded. I suppose it could be because they are informal and they do not necessarily have access to all of the facilities that are informal settlements. And therefore, there is a program specifically to make sure that we reach out to all of these areas. So if any of you are actually staying in either hostels or informal settlements, please reach out and let us know in case we have not made sure that our services are available to you. Now, this I touched on earlier in terms of our manufacturing technology program, a climate innovation energy program. All of these fall under green, but we are making sure that we drive all of these solutions as well in the townships to make sure that any of you who are listening in now, or you know someone who may be interested in any of these sectors, reach out to us with whatever innovation they may have and present it to us. We also have a school science program where we reach out to schools and make sure that we create future innovators. We know the challenges that have been faced by our schools, and that is one of the reasons that we established the schools program, to make sure that all our young people after matriculation, they are able to see entrepreneurship as a solution, but they do not also find it too daunting, knowing that the Innovation Hub is there to assist them with whatever form of assistance and guidance to ensure that they get up to commercial state. And with that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And I will be taking questions afterwards. Chair, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Makama. Thank you for that insightful presentation as well. I do not see any questions on the chat box, so I then presume that perhaps they will keep on popping up as the next speaker comes on. So please do stay on so that you may be able to answer at a later stage. All right, without any further delays, I'm going to call our next speaker, Ms. Shani Kelly, who is an education specialist within the unit at the CIPC. Ms. Kelly, are you all ready for us? You still muted, Shani?
Okay. Is that better?
Perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Most definitely, ma'am, we can. Thank you.
Okay. For some reason, okay. Good morning, everyone. I think it's still morning. My name is Shani Kelly, and I'm an education specialist at the CIPC. I'm going to switch off my video so that our presentation does not have any hiccups, right? Okay. My presentation today will be just a brief presentation on the registration and compliance of the CIPC. I'm going to talk to you about the introduction to CIPC, the benefits of business registrations, the channels for query resolutions, our service channels, as well as the services that we offer. Now, CIPC was established CIPC was brought into existence by the Companies Act of 2008. In terms of Section 185 of the subsection 1 of the Companies Act, the Commission was established as a juristic person to function as an organ of state within the public administration by an institute outside the public service. CIPC is subdivided into two sections: the business corporate regulations, which consist of companies, cooperatives, and CCs, and the intellectual property section, which is our innovation and creativity, which consists of patents, designs, trademarks, and copyrights. Okay. Now, with regards to CIPC's objectives. Registration of companies, cooperatives, and intellectual property rights and the maintenance thereof, as well as disclosure of information on our registers, enforcement of the relevant legislations, promotions of education awareness of companies and intellectual properties law, the license of business rescue practitioners, the monitoring compliance with and contravention of the financial reporting standards, and making recommendations thereto, as well as reports, research, and advice to the Minister on matters of national policies relating to the Companies Act, as well as the intellectual properties. Okay. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of having your business registered. Firstly, you have limited liabilities. Now, this does not mean you have no liabilities. It just means that you have limited liabilities. The directors and shareholders are not personally liable for claims made against the company or a cooperative. Companies can exist indefinitely. If a director or shareholder dies, the company can still continue. Contracts, tenders, and supports. Now, businesses, registered businesses can apply for government tenders, contracts, and support. If your business is registered and active, you can apply for any one of these three. It looks more professional to do business under a registered business name than under an individual's name. You may also get tax benefits depending on the turnover rate for your company than individuals of a lower tax bracket. Queries. Our queries resolutions are done on the following platforms. You can log a query on the CIPC website. You can use your cell phone to log a query by typing in *134*2472# our call center, which is 086 100 2472. We also have a CIPC mobile app, which can be downloaded by the Google Play Store or iPhone, as well as we have a very active CIPC Facebook page and Twitter. Now, so you see there is various methods in which you can resolve queries that you may have with CIPC. Now, our service access channels. This channels are when you want to transact with CIPC. These are the BIS portal, which is www.bisportal.gov.za. Then you have the e-services, which is found on the CIPC webpage, as well as our self-service sites and partner sites. These are terminals which you can use to access the CIPC webpage or our access channels. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about BIS portal. These are one of our new platforms that we have introduced. CIPC has developed this platform to offer company registration and related services in a quick and easy way. It is paperless, no forms or business documents needs to be submitted. Required members' ID documents details and directors' IDs, as well as marriage certificate details. This unfortunately only caters for South African citizens. Now, the reason that we ask for ID details and marriage certificate details, we are linked with Home Affairs. So that's why we do not need to have any paperwork submitted. It's a paperless environment and platform. So you would be able, so when you access the BIS portal, it asks you for your ID number, and also to authenticate who you are, they might ask you for details of your marriage certificates. For example, if you are married, that is. It could be your marriage, the date of your marriage, or your spouse's ID number, anything to authenticate that you are the correct individual transacting. Now, on this platform, we only deal with card facilities. So that means you cannot do an EFT transfer or deposit funds directly in a bank account. You only can use your card facilities, thereby getting an OTP PIN and transacting with regard to your payments. If you want to do EFT and do deposit cash in the bank account of CIPC, as well as if you are not a South African citizen, then you can use the CIPC website's e-services platform. Now, the other services which BIS portal offers are SARS, information on SARS. You can obtain a BBBEE certificate if your turnover is less than 10 million. You can also get access to register a domain name, that is a website address, as well as you can open up a business bank account. All services are completed within 24 hours. You can register a company or choose any other services of a BIS portal, as well as open up a bank account. BizPortal offers these services separately or independently. So you can use all the services when you're doing your company registration together, or you can use them individually. When you go onto the CIPC webpage, you will come to a page which says, or an icon which says enterprise registration. Once you click that icon, you come onto this page that you have in front of you, and you can see that we have BizPortal, e-services, co-op registration, even public liability companies. Once you come to this, I have circled the BizPortal icon. You can either register on BizPortal or you can log in onto BizPortal. It's quite simple. This is the BizPortal homepage. You can see that we also have BizPortal introduction video over there that will explain to you exactly what services are available for entrepreneurs. As I previously told you, we need your ID number to gain access into BizPortal, as we are linked to Home Affairs. Yeah, this is where you can key in your ID number and your password. If you have forgotten your password, you can have your password reset on this platform as well. Now, a brief presentation on name reservation. This is for company registration for those that have not registered their companies as yet. Now, name reservation is optional, but it is advisable that every company is identified by a name. The fee for for name reservation is only 50 Rand. Name reservation can be done before applying for company registration or during the company registration process. This is on the BizPortal platform. If your name has not been reserved beforehand, it can be done during the process. However, if the name is not available, the company registration number will be used as the name of the company. A name change can be done at a later stage by applying for the name and the memorandum of incorporation. So if you do not have your name available, or you do not apply for your name reservation beforehand, you can do it after the process, right? It costs, there's no fees attached to a name change. Isn't that nice? Company information. This is when you want to register for your company. Now, there's two categories of companies. We have a non-profit company. Remember, this is a NPC. We have a profit companies. Now, our profit companies are the private companies, the public companies which we register, personal liability company, as well as state-owned companies. An external company can be registered as a non-profit or a profit company. Now, a company registration of a private company costs 125 Rand. Now, a very important section, this is annual returns. These are for businesses that have already been registered. Annual returns or AR submissions to CIPC is compulsory. If you do not submit your AR, your company can be deregistered. Remember, annual returns are not related to SARS tax returns. For companies, the annual returns need to be submitted within 30 days after day of the registration. Right, so this is what it actually means is the month that you have registered your company. For example, if you register your company this month, that is September 2023, your anniversary date will be September. So every September 2024, your annual return is due. So the month of September comes, you must please once a year remember to file your annual returns. Now, the calculation of your annual returns can be done on the following platforms. It can be done on the bus portal, on CIBC's website, on the e-services platforms. It can be done through your phone, through the USSD, that is *134*2472#. It can be also done on the CIBC mobile app, as well as the self-service center and your partner sites. Now, annual returns is linked to fees. Your annual returns, your annual turnover, if it's less than 1 million, your annual return is 100 Rand. However, if you do not file your annual returns on the month of your anniversary, you will be charged a penalty. So your annual returns will be 150 Rand if you submit your annual returns after your anniversary date.
Ms.
Okay.
Kelly,
Yes.
my apologies, ma'am. I am so sorry to cut you short. However, I've just been notified that we are running out of time and our webinar might just be cut off.
Okay. Would you like
Yes.
me to stop?
Yes, please. My sincere apologies about that.
Okay, I'm almost due. I got one more slide. Would you mind if I just complete that slide?
No worries, then ma'am, continue.
Okay. Okay, my presentation will be shared with the audience, so I'm not going to go through all the turnover and the payments. The most common one is the ones that are less than 1 million, which cost 100 Rand. Right. Now, when you're doing your annual returns, you're going to come to a process that is called, that's going to ask you whether you are submitting under FAS or AFS. Now, AFS is your annual financial statement. This is for businesses that submit statements to CIBC. However, if you do not submit any statements to CIBC, you will select the FAS, that is the Financial Accountability Supplement. This is questions pertaining to your business. So remember, if you are paying if your turnover is less than 1 million and you are paying only 100 Rand, please select the FAS options. Okay. FAS is your Core 30.2 document. It's a summary of information regarding the company's records keeping and the maintenance of your financial records. Private companies and CCs that do not need to submit financial statements must please file the FAS through e-services or bus portal. FAS is a short and easy questionnaire that needs to be answered. Okay, that brings me to the end of my presentation. I have shared my email address with you guys. So if y'all have any queries, please do not hesitate to contact me.
Perfect. Right on time, Ms. Kelly. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. All
righty then. I just want to take this opportunity to extend a gratitude first and foremost to Hector Ndlovu. Thank you so much for making this possible. Without you, we wouldn't have had this session. So thank you so much to Proudly SA and the respective guest speakers. Truly appreciative of taking your time to actually share a perspective with the companies that have joined us from different areas. And to the companies that are with us, just want to say that, can we not make this another listening session? But post this session, I just want to implore you to just take up the opportunities that were shared with us today. And those are my closing remarks. I'm not sure if Sasha from Proudly SA, there's anything else that you want to add on before we get cut off?
Yes, I think just a very big thank you to all the panelists and all the attendees for attending the webinar. I think it was quite an insightful and informative session, and we will have the recording and each presentation available for everyone to have access to. I have posted email addresses for each of the panelists as well as events at Proudly SA in the chat box. Please make use of these and reach out to us if there's any assistance you require or any further questions. But closing remarks, thank you, Buti, Shani, Alicia, and Bonakele for your time and assistance with making this webinar possible.
Thank you, colleagues. You have a nice day.
A wonderful day.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day further. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers then.